How do we get out of our heads and into our bodies to regulate our nervous system, calm our anxiety or overwhelm, and process our stress and emotions on a deeper level? That's what we're diving into in this episode, starting with the holistic perspective. And then I hope you stick around to the end for more specific techniques to apply. If you're new here, I'm your host, Ellen, a certified life coach, a singer, a mother, and a lover of alliteration, dogs, and deep conversation. And this is the Contentment Creator Podcast, the show designed especially for creative entrepreneurs to dig deep to clarify your life vision, catalyze your creative flow, and fuel your entrepreneurial fire. So if you're interested in topics about personal development and healing, entrepreneurship and empowerment, and creativity and authenticity, please subscribe for more. Most of you are watching this video or listening to this podcast episode already knowing about the tools out there available for your nervous system regulation. We know about retraining the brain through coaching and therapy. We know about meditation, breathwork, somatic exercises like the one I'll lead you through later in the episode, psychiatric and psychedelic medicines, polyvagal theory practices, and so much more. But here's the truth. I have tried the majority of these things as well, and I spent years of trying so hard and doing all of the things in order to see progress in my anxiety levels, depression cycles, and just get out of survival mode and stop riding the roller coaster of emotions every day. But it was always a yo-yo for me. Whatever I tried would work for a minute or a day or a season, and then I'd rebound right back to where I started. If you're watching this video and nodding along with me, then I can almost guarantee there is one thing you are missing. Once I figured this out, everything changed for me. So let's get right to it. I can almost guarantee that you are trying to regulate while fighting your current state. When we try to regulate our nervous systems with the energy of fix me, make this stop, these feelings just need to go away, then your body and nervous system sense it. They feel like, oh, something is wrong here and I need to stay on alert. We each possess highly intelligent internal monitoring systems, and our sympathetic nervous system is built to pick up on the subtlest clues that something is amiss. The sound of a snap of a branch that tells our survival instinct, look out for a predator. The faint whiff of smoke that alerts us in our sleep to wake up to a fire. The feeling we get when something's off and we go check on our kids who've gotten into something they shouldn't. All of these are biologically programmed for us to pick up on the smallest cues to signal to our brains and our bodies to wake up and be ready for danger. So if we use that same system against itself, to self-scan, to assess that a feeling that we're having is a problem, to remain vigilant against anxiety, it's like fighting fire with fire or anxiety with anxiety. Treating our nervous system like a problem to be fixed is only going to exacerbate the experience of anxiety or activation. We cannot outsmart our nervous systems and try to use tools, tips, and tactics to get out of the state we're in. If the approach that we're using carries urgency or a pushing energy from an intense desire to make whatever we're feeling go away. So using these tools turns into another way to try to control and manage something that you perceive to be a threat or a problem, versus actually giving yourself support and self-care in those moments. You might even be like me. I used to create those elaborate self-care morning routines in order to try to control or fix my state of being every day. If you've ever heard of Miracle Morning, then you know it was a craze that swept the personal development world, all about the 6 steps to set your day up for success. And nothing against a method itself, but just like any tool, you can use a hammer to hit a nail or to smash your finger. How you utilize that tool is all about your intention, experience, and capability with wielding that tool. And a lot of fingers got smashed in the earnest attempt to improve our nervous systems by setting up our mornings with mindfulness, when in actuality, many people were activating their own nervous systems by trying to control their feelings, their bodies, and their minds every day. We assumed that if we could just do the right routine, the right way, in the right order, for the right amount of time, then maybe I won't have anxiety today. Maybe I'll be able to focus better today. Maybe I'll have more energy, or maybe I'll feel more even amongst the turbulence of the day. But this desire to do things the right way meant that there was pressure for it to have the outcome that we wanted, and therefore resistance to it not working. Resistance to whatever I was feeling, resistance to the possibility that this too wouldn't fix me. I can actively remember a tearful confession to my husband years ago when I was completely convinced that I was broken and there just had to be something wrong with me because the morning routine he did just did not work for me at all. And I timed everything down to the minute, the exact same as his. And he was feeling energized by it, and I was feeling like I needed a nap by the end. That was because I wasn't using these morning activities as a support to myself. I was using them like a fire extinguisher. Like, get rid of this problem, get rid of this feeling, so I can have a productive and happy day, gosh darn it. And if I didn't, I'd get more frustrated and more activated by the idea that there really is something deeply wrong with me that I needed to dig up and get out of me in order for me to be okay. Your body is never going to regulate because you choose the right tool. It only regulates once it starts to feel safe. And using these tools to escape a feeling or resist an outcome or what you perceive as a problem, it signals to your body that you are not safe. Just like the analogy of a hammer helping us or hurting us, healing or regulating is never going to come from tools. It's going to come from cultivating safety within our bodies first, and the tools reinforce that. Tools can help and even create a state shift for a short period of time. But at the root, they cannot fix the problem of a dysregulated nervous system. That experience of there's a problem or something's wrong with me or I need this feeling to stop immediately, in and of itself is the source of the dysregulation. And anything done on top of that is just a superficial or temporary change. So you're probably wondering, okay, how do we cultivate safety? What do we do? A couple things. And the first one might piss you off a little, like it did for me. Okay, are you ready for it? Do less. What do I mean by that? There was a time where I would wake up and the first thing I would look at was my Whoop app to see my sleep score, my readiness level for the day. I would use that information to determine what kind of workout I should do. And then the spiral of thoughts would take over on what other sorts of activities or things I needed to do in order to set myself up for success today so that I could start my day right. I would do morning pages or meditate or go straight to the gym fasted and starving, or. All to fix whatever I perceive to be wrong, disguised and veiled in my words as self-care or doing what I need for the day. But actually, it was only reinforcing the dysregulation that I would operate on top of the rest of that day, because inevitably, doing all of that with all of this attachment to what sort of state I wanted to be in by the end of it, or pressure to be on by the end of it, or resistance to however I woke up feeling that day, didn't regulate me. It created more pressure, more anxiety, more urgency to control, which deepened the state that I was in. There's a saying, what you resist persists. So at the root of doing less is dropping the resistance. One of the reasons these tools aren't working for us is because we have not accepted where we are. Your nervous system is never going to shift as long as you continue resisting what's true for you, whether that's emotionally, professionally, personally, spiritually, on whatever level it presents for you. You have to stop fighting the state that you're in and expecting it to be different than it is, better than it is. And this is not something that's once and done. Anyone watching this video clearly carries resistance for where they are because you are also a seeker and a doer and someone trying to exercise your agency in life to achieve an exceptional life, whatever that means to you. I've known about this for years, and still my nervous system has felt hijacked since giving birth to my second child, leading to anxiety and insomnia and hypervigilance and intense emotional escalations. And still, I thought I could regulate my way out of those feelings, that lack of safety in my body. I did the breathing exercises I'll show you later on. I implemented routines. I did the things I was supposed to do to regulate, and nothing worked, which is exactly why I wanted to make this episode for you. Because I remembered that tools are only tools, and they only work when used properly. And when it comes to getting to the root of anything, if you feel like you should be doing more to fix or overcome what you're struggling with, that is exactly the time you probably need to do way less and slow everything down. And once I did exactly that, slowed way down, remembered why my body was experiencing this, and just attuned to my present reality, I was able to accept the feelings I was having. I accepted the panic or the restless nights or the brain fog or the overstimulation, and acknowledged that my body was working through this and I was here to support it in doing so. So if you are trying to heal, or if you're wanting to regulate your nervous system, you have to first put down the resistance to what is. You have to let go of the fight. And once you accept where you are now, what you need to do next will become clear to you. You can let go of the throwing spaghetti at a wall desperation to change what you're going through or wish it was different, and instead drop into acceptance that this is where you are right now. And then you won't need to guess or try or experiment to find what works, because whatever you do from that state will improve how you feel, because you're not resisting it. You've shifted away from fixing and are now actually supporting yourself. It's only when you resist where you are and try to tool and tip your way out of it that you're strengthening that loop and lengthening the time that you spend there. Doing too much, too fast from fear is what prolongs our undesirable state, which is the opposite of what we actually want. Accepting where you are, doing less, being with where you are, that slowing down is actually going to speed up your healing process and allow you to regulate and access your peace and sense of safety again. I hope you're hearing that it has so little to do with the what of what you're doing and everything to do with the why of what you're doing. Are you taking that breath to stop feeling overstimulated? Or are you taking that breath to accept, I am overstimulated? Are you moving your body to pass this anxiety through faster? Or are you moving your body because when you slowed down, you noticed you couldn't sit still and you had all that extra energy to burn? Meeting our needs and finding that sense of safety in ourselves is so much more about a deep sense of presence with ourselves than it is about the right routine, the right tool, the right therapy or coach. For me, that looked like slowing way the F down, putting down the pressure to be productive or feel or not feel any certain type of way. I stopped wearing my Whoop or using data to tell me what my body needs. I pared my morning routine way down to just make my bed and open my window shades when I wake up, and then rebuilt habits as they became desirable to me. I baked cookies, I drank tea, I dropped the where's my life going and just focused on living. I closed my eyes with the sun on my face. I stopped scrolling social media and instead let myself watch more YouTube. I just let my life unfold naturally and stopped forcing and pushing and doing and controlling. And my nervous system heard me. There's nothing wrong with me. I let myself accept the version of myself that was struggling, that didn't have it all figured out, that felt these feelings. And I stopped making her wrong or shaming her for not being somewhere or someone else, or making her do more to validate some other judgmental part of me. And then my body recalibrated. It felt safe, the fog cleared, and I felt my nervous system shift. So if you're taking nothing else away, know this. You are absolutely okay exactly where you are. You will heal and you will feel safe again. Do less with more presence. Focus on shifting the energy you're using rather than the tool you're using. And your nervous system will start to regulate as soon as you stop resisting what. I want to start this video by being radically honest with you, because this topic of healing our nervous systems has been genuinely living in my body these past few weeks. I sat down to write this episode on nervous system regulation for my podcast, The Contentment Creator, and almost immediately my body began communicating with me in a way that I hadn't fully expected. I also want to say that while this video is speaking business owner to business owner, I want you to know that everyone watching this video will benefit from these strategies. One day, I felt this frantic, almost electric sense of activation, like fight or flight had been yanked back into the present, and I was running a mile a minute. I accomplished more in one day or two than I had in a previous week, but it wasn't a good kind of productive. My heart rate felt too fast. I felt too alert, like buzzing, and like an internal warning system was sending me some sort of alarm that I needed to just keep moving. And then after a couple of days, I felt strangely flat, numb, like something inside of me had just checked out. I was detached, distant, and exhausted. At first, I thought, "Ugh, what is going on with me? My energy is all over the place. My brain feels scrambled. My anxiety is really high, but everything's fine in my life right now." It felt like I was derailing out of nowhere. And at first, I thought I just needed more rest. So then I procrastinated for a couple of days on writing this episode. But then I looked at the date. It's March 4th as of writing this. And something clicked for me. 3 years ago, right around this exact time, I was trapped in a very real fight or flight situation. Stuck in the hospital for a month after giving birth to my daughter, dealing with life-threatening preeclampsia, sepsis, and blood clots. I gave birth on February 5th, and I didn't come home until March 5th. Then and there, I realized my nervous system wasn't just activated, it was reliving a real-life survival threat. And here I am, 3 years later, sitting down to talk about regulation. My body was telling me the whole story before my mind ever did. That right there is what we're talking about today. Something Bessel van der Kolk teaches in his book, The Body Keeps the Score, a book I very much recommend. That our bodies remember what the mind can't always access or articulate. So let's talk about it. What does it mean that our bodies keep the score? In his work, Dr. van der Kolk explains something that feels like a profound gift when you're in the thick of your own nervous system chaos. Trauma doesn't just live in the mind. It lives in the body. Not as a metaphor, but literally, in muscle tension, in breath patterns, in activation thresholds, in dissociation, in fight, flight, freeze responses that are all on repeat without us consciously choosing them. He says that when we experience something overwhelming, something that exceeds our capacity to respond, like giving birth, losing control of our health, or facing threats that we can't escape, the brain stores that experience in the nervous system in ways that traditional talk therapy alone can't reach. This isn't about our willpower or intelligence. It's about biology. Your body doesn't lie, and it doesn't forget. It just adapts. When you get that, or rather when you internalize that, it changes how you approach healing. For so long, I interpreted my waves of activation, hypervigilance, anxiety, followed by shutdown, numbness, and just sudden exhaustion, at best as resistance or procrastination, when I was really gaslighting myself. Or at worst, as full-blown anxiety and depression or burnout, when I was just searching for a label that made sense for what I was experiencing. But what I learned was that these experiences are actually signals of something deeper, something my nervous system didn't get to process at the time that it was actually happening. And now it was taking the opportunity to process it. In The Body Keeps the Score, van der Kolk talks about how the body will hold incomplete stress responses like a loop, frozen, unprocessed, like an open wound that never got cleaned out. The threat wasn't just a memory, it was a pattern of physiology. What that means in real life is that your body enters fight or flight mode even if your mind has logically moved on. You might dissociate or check out, not because you're lazy, but because that's how your nervous system learned to cope. You might feel triggered by the smallest, most innocuous moments because your body still senses the unresolved threat from long ago. That's not your fault. It's biology doing its thing. And as creative entrepreneurs, we often find ourselves living in these two extremes. Hyperactivation with overwhelm, burnout, anxiety, racing thoughts, overstimulation. And then numbness, flatness, procrastination, disconnection, autopilot living. Our culture even rewards both of these in strange ways, like hustle as hyperactivation and distraction as numbing. But those are not balanced nervous system states. They're survival states. Sound familiar to you? I know it does for me because I've been living it. This is where the perspective shift came for me, and it's the frame that I want to offer you today. Nervous system regulation is not about willpower or self-discipline. It is about recognizing your nervous system learned how to protect you, and it's really good at taking over when it feels needed. It's not trying to sabotage your growth, it's trying to keep you alive. And regulation is not a destination. It's a practice of safety that lives in your body, not just your brain. That safety practice looks like slowing down the nervous system, finding states of felt safety, lengthening exhalations, tracking impulses instead of acting on them immediately, and recognizing when activation patterns belong to the past and not to the present. So, what actually heals the nervous system? If trauma lives in the body, then healing has to involve the body too. This is where the concept of somatic healing comes in. So what is somatic healing, actually? The word somatic simply refers to relating to the body. Somatic healing is the practice of working directly with sensations, movements, and signals of the body to help the nervous system complete stress responses that got stuck during overwhelming experiences. Remember what we talked about earlier. When something intense happens, when our system goes into fight, flight, or freeze, our body mobilizes huge amounts of energy to protect us. But when that response gets interrupted, when we can't fight back, when we can't run away, when we're trapped in a hospital bed or stuck in circumstances we didn't choose, that energy doesn't just disappear. It stays stored in the nervous system. Somatic healing is about gently helping the body release and reorganize that stored survival energy. Not by analyzing the story over and over again, but by working with what your body is doing in the present moment. So let's talk about why talking alone isn't always enough. The irony of making a video about this. Traditional talk therapy can help us understand what happened. For example, because I've done a lot of talk therapy and am a professional coach, I know how to coach myself enough to get to the root of a belief, story, or source of my feelings. But a therapist or coach would be a really great place for an average person to realize, oh, this dysregulation is cyclical trauma for me, or CPTSD, or this physical memory that takes me back to this time in my life. The intellectual level is helpful to understand the why. But understanding alone doesn't always calm the nervous system, because trauma isn't just a narrative stored in our thinking brain. It's a pattern stored in the body and brainstem, the parts of us responsible for survival, which means healing often requires bottom-up practices, not just top-down insight. In other words, less explaining, more experiencing, less analyzing, more noticing, less trying to think your way out of it, and more helping your body feel safe again. So what does somatic regulation look like in practice? What do we actually do when the nervous system gets activated? Whether that activation is conscious or unconscious, whether it's manifesting as anxiety or panic, or like numbness, procrastination, or emotional shutdown and depression, somatic regulation starts with something incredibly simple: awareness of sensation. Not the story, not the explanation, just the body. For example, you might pause and ask yourself right now in this moment, where do I feel energy in my body? Is it tightness in my chest? Pressure in my throat? Heat in my face? A buzzing energy in my arms? That awareness alone begins to bring the nervous system out of autopilot. So here are 4 simple somatic tools that trauma researchers, coaches, and therapists often recommend when the nervous system becomes activated. And just to anchor us in the now and do a little check-in, give yourself a score out of 10. 1 being not at all regulated and 10 being completely calm and grounded. Then we'll see where we land after these tools. Number 1, orienting. This is one of the simplest ways to signal safety to our nervous system. Look around the room slowly. Let your eyes land on objects, colors, shapes, and light. Just notice where you are. One content creator I follow says it this way: be where your feet are. Be in the room that you're in right now. And you can practice simply being present and observant, or if you can access it, even wonder or curiosity, like, ooh, look at these teal walls, or that colorful painting, or that soft blanket. Now, take a look around you and name a few things that you see around you in your head. Good. That helps your brain first register, I am not in danger right now. Number 2, lengthening the exhale. When the nervous system is activated, our breathing becomes short and shallow. A longer exhale signals to the vagus nerve, which is the gatekeeper between our sympathetic, which is the fight, flight, freeze response, and our parasympathetic nervous systems, which is the rest and digest state, that it's safe to come out of fight or flight. So try inhaling for 4 seconds and exhaling for 6 or 8. I find even adding a pause between the inhale and exhale drastically calms my nervous system. You may have heard of 4-7-8 breaths. That's when you breathe in for 4, hold or suspend your breath for 7, and then exhale slowly for 8 counts. So let's do 3 rounds of that right now and see what happens. Do a mental scan of your body and breath right now. Notice if there's energy or tension. And now let's breathe together. Let's breathe in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And breathe out for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4. And hold 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And breathe in 2, 3, 4. And hold 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How do you feel now? Notice the shifts. If I'm really activated or struggling to sleep, I will do 10 or even 20 rounds of that breath. Number 3, gentle movement. Trauma researchers often point out that animals in the wild shake after a threat passes. That shaking is the body completing the stress response. Humans suppress that instinct, but gentle movement like walking, stretching, shaking out your hands, rolling your shoulders can help release activation stored in the body. So maybe you can sit on the floor right now and do some simple stretches. Lengthen your body where it's tight. And lately, my source of gentle motion is a video I'll include in the description that helps with lymphatic drainage. This 10-minute video helps me drain any trapped fluid and improve my circulation and flexibility. Number 4, grounding through sensation. Sometimes the most powerful reset is simply feeling something real. Your feet pressing into the floor or the grass, your back against the chair or butt in the seat, holding something warm or soft in your hands. Those sensations bring the nervous system back to the present moment, which removes the need to anticipate danger. All right, let's check back in with our bodies now. So on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you now? I started at about a 4 out of 10. And in just these few minutes of doing these exercises with you, I'd say I'm at like a 6.5 or 7 out of 10. That's pretty remarkable when you consider how simple and fast it was to take those steps. It's like that saying, slow down to speed up. Slowing things way down for those few minutes is going to make everything I accomplish today move that much more efficiently because my nervous system knows that I'm safe. I hope just taking those 4 simple steps together helped you get into your body, experience a deeper sense of regulation or groundedness, and inspired you to integrate these practices throughout your day-to-day and every day. So please comment below, how big a leap did you make in those couple of minutes on the scale from 1 to 10? I'd love to hear your score changes. Now let's enter a moment when your body is fully in fight, flight, freeze, or fawn mode. Save this segment on YouTube for when you need someone to talk you through it and breathe with you so your nervous system can find its center again before re-engaging with your spouse in an argument. So take a moment and pause with me. I'm here with you right now when you and your partner are in the middle of this disagreement. Let's take inventory of what your body is experiencing. What's your heart doing? Does it feel like it's racing or pounding? Listen to it for a few seconds and count 10 beats. It's amazing to think about all that our hearts are capable of, right? Right now, it's sending blood out everywhere in your body just in case you need to run from a tiger. It might be a strange moment to think this, but maybe you can let in 1% of gratitude that your heart is working so hard right now to keep you safe. Now let's check in with your muscles. Do a scan and see what parts of you also feel ready to brace itself or run. What are your shoulders doing? How's your core? Are your hands clenched? Again, that's your body doing everything it needs to do to survive in this moment, just in case the threat that you're feeling right now is actually a tiger. So thank your body. Thank you for protecting me and keeping me safe from danger. And now let's go inward in your mind for a minute. Your thoughts might be flying through your head a mile a minute right now. You might be replaying things that were said or reviewing the order of events, feeling like you're holding your tongue from saying the meanest thing you can, but feels really true in this moment. That's also your nervous system trying to protect you. Repel the threat. It makes complete sense that our body is doing this right now, and it's totally okay to feel this way. Let's just take a couple of minutes to connect and understand where we are. Let's remember that our body is miraculous and powerful, and we're grateful it's here to protect us in this moment. And we can let it know that there is no tiger in the room with us right now. Take a look around the room or environment you're in now. Try to find as many things with the color blue as you can. How many did you find? I found 5. Now notice the sensation of the ground under your feet. Is it hardwood? Is it scratchy? Is it wet grass? Feel the surface beneath you and remember that you are completely supported. The floor won't fall through. It's completely got you. And beneath that floor, the earth is strong and solid. It's not going anywhere. You are held and supported. You are safe here right now. Your mind may know that because no tiger. But now let's help your body remember that. Let's tell our nervous system we're safe by putting your right hand on your left shoulder and then wrapping your left arm over top of the other arm and putting your left hand on your right shoulder. Hold as tightly or as loosely as is comfortable and take a deep breath in this hug. Let's take another good one because that felt good. In fact, let's slow that breath down even more together. I'll do one of my favorite exercises with you right now. This puppy has seen me through some of my darkest moments, and it is the bee's knees. Feel free to stay in this position, or if you want to open up a little bit, then maybe you can put your right hand on your heart and your left hand over your belly button. Now let's take a slow inhale through your nose for 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1. And now hold the breath for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now slowly exhale through your mouth for 8 seconds. Do this like a lion or a heavy sigh. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Now let's do that again. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now exhale like you're blowing through a straw slowly for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do this one more time together. Breathe in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now relax your jaw and your shoulders as you let it out for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Amazing. Seriously, great work. You are doing a few really exceptional things right now. 1, you're taking your body out of danger mode and letting it know that it's all right. You are all right. Everything is all right. There are no tigers or lions or bears, and you don't need to run from anything. 2, you're turning your brain back on. When our bodies perceive danger, they shut everything down in the brain but the amygdala, which is our alarm system. And when we turn off the alarms, our prefrontal cortex comes back online, which is how we can engage in rational thought. So, hello again. Welcome back, brain. So glad to have you. And now that you're here, brain, let me just fact check a couple things with you before we all go back to our regularly scheduled programming for the day. I totally get where you're coming from. I know that what you're feeling right now is coming from a core desire to be understood and to be seen in this moment. And if you think back to some of your earliest memories with your person, try to think about that first time you got those butterflies in your belly. That first time you thought, whoa, this person really sees me. Remember those youngins? So cute. And now let's remember when you felt your heart feel so big that you thought it might burst through your chest, and you told your person that you loved them for the first time. And when they told you they loved you for the first time, how absolutely weightless you felt. That person is still here with you right now. They're choosing you, and you're choosing them. Even if right now you're frustrated, you feel misunderstood, you feel mistreated, they are still them, and you are still you. They are on your team. They want to be on your team. They want to understand and love you. But sometimes their brains turn off too, and they say and do the wrong thing. Sometimes they defend or jab or mess up, and it hurts. It's okay for it to hurt. You're going to let them know that it hurt. But let's celebrate you in this moment for deciding not to hurt them back just because you're hurting. You're here in this moment, connecting to what's real and true. Your heart is beating, you're breathing in and out, and you remember who you are and who they are. Two people who love each other. Two people who choose each other. Two people who intend to do good by one another. Their nervous systems maybe just got jacked up, and so did yours. And you're choosing outside of it right now. You're remembering you're safe, and they are not a threat to your safety, as much as your brain is telling you they are. Their nervous system and your nervous system just had a little showdown, and thankfully, you remember there's no winning or dominating in this moment. There's just reconnecting. First to your body, then the room you're in, then the earth, and then your love story. This is a moment that you'll forget about tomorrow or next week or next year. It's not even close to the whole story. So let's take one last deep breath together and gather our thoughts. Now keep breathing like that, and let's gently remind our body of three things. You are safe. This person loves you. And this conversation is not about winning. It's about understanding. So when you feel ready, go back to the conversation. Speak slower than you need to, keeping your experience to I statements. I feel blank when blank. Listen deeper to their responses than you normally do. Hold the pause between their words and your words longer than you want to. And remember, two regulated nervous systems can solve almost anything. So take one more breath and go reconnect. Save this video for next time your brain thinks it's wrestling a tiger, and I'll be right here when you need it. And with that, we have come to the end of today's episode of the Contentment Creator Podcast, where we covered regulating our nervous systems and how that impacts our personal healing, our businesses, and our marriage. Whether you caught the whole episode or one of our segments, either way, thank you for making it all the way to the end. Join me in my mission to turn a world full of content creators into a world of contentment creators.